Okay. Okay. All right. Join with me as we take this time to center ourselves and to come to this place where we connect with the core of our being. I invite you to get comfortable in your chairs and allow your body to be supported as we begin the process. And in order to bring your awareness to the core of your being, I invite you to take 3 very large, deep breaths. And on the inhalation, to just hold your breath for a second and then release. So let's begin that process now. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Just allow your shoulders to drop. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And once more. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sense your whole body being relaxed. Comfortable. As it is supported by the chair. I invite you to focus in on your breath. And if there are any sounds that come into the room, those sounds just enable you to go deeper and deeper still into that healthy, safe state of mind. Using your imagination now, I invite you to imagine that you're breathing through your heart. Breathing in through your heart. Breathing out through your heart. Breathing in through your heart. Breathing out through your heart. That's it. Bringing your focus into this moment, into the core of your being. I invite you to get a sense of that very wonderful feeling as it emanates and encompasses your heart area. Whether you feel it, whether you see it, or it has some sound associated with your connection to the all that is. That's it. Enjoy the connection. That connection that is forever available. In this moment and every moment that has ever been or ever will be. Moving beyond the physicality of humanness to spirit. That's it. Allow the connection to come into your awareness. Feel it now expanding from your heart area to each and every cell of your body, all the way from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. It feels so good to be connected. Feels so wonderful to experience oneness with all that is. Allowing that oneness to expand and expand in your awareness. And even though you may have thoughts that come into your mind, just allow them to enter and just to keep moving on. As though they were like the flow of a river. Easily and gently flowing in and out of your awareness. As we begin and maintain that absolutely wonderful feeling of connection. I would invite you to experience this connection as joy. That joy of oneness. That joy of being in this moment. That joy which brings tremendous awe and wonder to the core of your being. joy. That divine attribute that is yours in this moment and has always been in this moment. Joy. Joy. The joy that welcomes gratitude. The joy that welcomes creativity. The joy that welcomes peace. The joy that welcomes love. The joy that welcomes laughter. The joy that represents your divine nature. Joy. Joy. And as we allow this experience of joy to fill our awareness, we take this moment to anchor this awareness deep within the core of our being. So that at any moment we can bring this awareness back into our experience in each and every moment. Simply by remembering joy. And as we take this moment to anchor it, let us express our gratitude. Our gratitude for connection. Our gratitude for oneness. Our gratitude for attending this divine appointment. Thank you, God. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Source. And as we bring this time together to a close, we affirm our experience by saying, and so it is.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Unity. Last Sunday in October. I am Deborah, your facilitator today. And as usual, we're going to start off with some fantastic music with Edri.
If you desire, you may stand. Good morning. God is looking good in you. God is looking good in you. He must be well pleased with all that he sees. God is looking good in you. Me. God is looking good in me. Tell yourself that. God is looking good in me. She must be well pleased with all that she sees. God is looking good in me. Now tell someone else, God is looking good in us. God is looking good in us. It must be well pleased with all that it sees. God is looking good in us. One more time, tell someone else, God is looking good in us. God is looking good in us. It must be well pleased with all that it sees. God is looking good. God is looking good. God is looking good in us. We're going to end it here. Let's take a nice big breath, shall we? Amen. Moving along, holy essence of God. I am made in the image and likeness of God. I open my eyes and see what's inside. I know in my heart I am holy. Yes, you are holy, beautiful, beautiful, holy essence of God. Yes, you are beautiful, the holy essence of God. You are made in the image and likeness of God. Open your eyes and see what's inside, and know in your heart you are holy. Oh yes, holy, beautiful, the holy essence of God. Yes, we are beautiful. Yes, we are beautiful. Holy essence of God. We are made in the image and likeness of God. We open our eyes and see what's inside. We know in our hearts we are holy. Oh yes, we are holy, beautiful, beautiful, oh, holy essence of God. One more time, we are beautiful. Yes, we are beautiful, the holy essence of God. Beautiful, holy essence of God. Please have a seat. Thank you so much. You are the face of God. It's a beautiful song by Karen Drucker. And if you know the actions, please go ahead and join me with it. face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God.
Morning, everybody. Please join me in consciousness. I speak my word for the people of the unity of Greater Hamilton. There is one life, one mind, and one infinite source. God is the ultimate creator, and I align myself with this awareness acting in and through me. I center my life on the knowing that I am inseparable with Spirit. As I open myself with this awareness, the limitless good of God is mine to claim. As I become solidly grounded in truth, all the infinite resources of joy, love, beauty, and abundance manifest through me and for me, and blesses my life and the lives of those around me. With profound gratitude, I allow Spirit to work its abundant truths through me. I let it be, and everyone, so it is.
You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God.
Our daily word today is illumination. As I look within, the light of understanding dawns in me. As I look to the east on a clear morning, I see the sky begin to grow lighter about an hour before sunrise. The changes in color are nearly imperceptible at first. Birds begin their morning songs as the sky grows brighter. Then, as golden rays of light proclaim the rising sun, I hear these words from the creation story of Genesis. Let there be light. And there is light. Illumination, the light of spiritual understanding, dawns within my own consciousness in much the same way. The darkness of ignorance begins to lighten. Insights emerge, dimly at first, then more vividly. Finally, understanding pours forth like the radiant morning sun, and there is light. From Genesis 1:3, then God said, let there be light, and there was light. And now, I'm going to ask for a volunteer to give us an example of how unity has impacted your life recently. Yay, Dedri!
I have learned to do things anyway, in spite of what my body and my mind may be telling me. So my body may be saying, don't trust me because, I don't know if you're going to work every day, or I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because I'm in pain, or I'm whatever the issue may be. But I've learned in unity that I just need to, sometimes you need to ignore your body and just do it anyway. Because the truth is that, especially if it's for your greater good, and you know that it's already for your greater good, then you just have to do it anyway.
Thank you, Debbie. Our annual theme is One Humanity, Many Stories, and every week we hear new stories. And our monthly theme for October, last Sunday, Cherish the Human Family, Unity. And today's talk, well, actually, the book of the month, yes, Principles of Oneness. And there might be
One copy
one copy left. Get it while you can. And now, I'd like to introduce Reverend Randy to talk about seeing each other as one.
Woohoo! Good morning. I hate this topic. Yeah, I know.
Do it anyway.
Yeah, do it anyway. Well, okay, I'll let my body leave. As I was preparing for this talk, just stop and think about this for just 1 second. Is this how we really think in our daily lives? No. And so, how do you bring that awareness into the moment, and so that you can actually, hold on to it, so that it gets to be more than just a theory? It becomes part of who we are. So in all of our treatments and all of our prayers, we start off with there is only one power, one presence, one source. And so rarely, at least in my experience, rarely does this statement really get chewed on by us as we're doing what it is that we're attempting to do. So what we're going to talk about today is that there's only really one of us. And unity does not mean uniformity. And the platinum rule. So let me start by saying, what if there was no oneness? If we weren't one with each other, what kind of a life would we have? Because really, if you think about how we interact and how we interrelate with each other, it happens without us really even thinking about it, doesn't it? So if we weren't one, how would we be able to communicate with each other? If we weren't one, why would we communicate with each other? If we weren't one, what would be the purpose of us having a human experience? Really interesting questions, aren't they? And so, taking the oneness for granted provides us with an opportunity to explore what would happen if there was no oneness. And so those questions that I just asked you are kind of distasteful, aren't they? Because what are the most important things in our lives? The most important thing in our lives is to have a relationship with someone else. And not only to receive love, but also to give love. Not only to receive joy, but to give joy. Not only to create, but to have creation expressed with us. So, There's only one of us. This is from Ernest Holmes. To love God and to love our neighbor as ourselves means to see God in everything and to include everyone in one divine unity. On this admonition of the Master hangs the meaning of all divine law, all spiritual prophecy, and all true revelation. Just take a moment with that. Just reread that. To love God and to love our neighbor as ourselves means to see God in everything and to include everyone in one divine unity. On this admonition of the Master hangs the meaning of all divine law, all spiritual prophecy, and all true revelation. Pretty profound, isn't it? Divine mind is the one and only reality. Charles Fillmore. Those two quotes really are pretty close to each other, aren't they? Divine mind. How do we connect with that? How do we grasp the oneness of that? Tough question. And it's not a question that we have a tendency to ask ourselves or each other on any kind of a frequent basis. And so, I know in my life that oneness was really, really very elusive for a long time. So when I started to learn how to do treatment, and I started the treatment off with, there's one power, one presence, one source. What did that mean? You know, that's a pretty abstract concept when I can't touch it, when I can't see it, when I can't feel it. It's abstract. And so, how do you get there? That's really, really tough to try and explain that to somebody else, isn't it? And yet, every single faith tradition on this great big ball we call planet Earth all speaks to the same thing. And so, as we get that understanding, or we choose to explore the potential of that, the potential of that. How do we do that? You know, most faith traditions have this thing that they express to each and every one of the participants within that faith tradition is you have to have faith. You have to have faith that there is this one presence. And remember that most of these faith traditions are thousands of years old. So thousands of years ago, how did they get the people at that time to understand this concept of oneness? Really, really, really tough. So, for instance, in Christianity, they attempted to provide an opportunity for folks to understand that they live within a polarity, a dichotomy. There's love and there's fear. There's good. There's bad. There's up. There's down. There's in. There's out. How do you know who you are until you discover who you are not? Just a simple question. And so, in this moment, how do you come to an understanding that there is this divine principle of oneness? Not an easy thing. And especially when somebody says, prove it. And we go, right? Because how do you prove that which is beyond proof? Just a question. I know I had a tough time trying to get to that oneness thing. Not all that long ago, when I was sitting in the house in Winnipeg while Anne was over here entertaining all of you, I was sitting on the couch, and across the street, we had some magnificent, I'm talking about absolutely gorgeous trees. And I was sitting there, and I was looking at the tree, and it dawned on me at that point that as I looked at that tree, I became one with that tree. And that oneness that I experienced was a little bit different, because just the moment prior to that, there was the tree and there was me. And because of what we have within us that allows us to move beyond this tiny little sandbox of physicality, we can move into an awareness of, wow, that tree and I are one. Because I can actually feel that tree if I allow myself to. Anybody go out and hug a tree? Have you ever felt what it feels like to hug a tree? It feels different, doesn't it? Anybody hug a dog? Or a cat? Can you feel something there? There's an essence there, isn't there? And especially with a dog, you know, it's absolute and it's unconditional. My son came down on Thursday to take a course on bones. He's a vet. And so he brought his dog down. And Jack is probably one of the most incredible duplicates of a wolf that you've ever seen. Like, his shoulders are about this tall. He's got radar ears that are probably the size of my hand. And Jack sits there and he looks at you, and you know there's something going on. You know? And you get anywhere close to him, you feel the energy. So is there oneness there? Absolutely. And so, do we actually really, in our day-to-day lives, accept that's part of the oneness? Typically, we don't think in those terms. Have you ever walked into a room and you go, ugh, I don't want to be here? What's that all about? Or you walk into a room and there's somebody that's across the room and you go, oh, I need to speak with that individual. There is a draw to that individual that I can't explain. So is there oneness there? Absolutely. So imagine if you couldn't do that. That's how I started this talk, wasn't it? What if there was no oneness? Would we have that kind of an experience? Probably not. So, science has this thing about looking under as many rocks as they possibly can, because scientists are really curious human beings. And so whether you're talking about the hard sciences or whether you're talking about the soft sciences, so hard sciences would be physics, soft sciences would be things like psychology. And then what happens when those two cross? This is where quantum physics comes in. On a subatomic level, you are inseparable from the chair that you're sitting on. We have this marvelous, marvelous, marvelous piece of equipment, a microscope that can expand and magnify any piece of physical matter. It's called an electron microscope. And when you expand that piece of material, what ends up happening is that you go from, for instance, the chair or you to a molecule or a cell, and then to a molecule, and then to an atom, and then to subatomic particles. And the one thing that becomes really, really clear as you expand and you magnify it, there's less and less matter and more space. So if we, in this moment, had this ginormous electron microscope, and we looked at you and the chair and magnified it, where would you start and the chair start? Because all of that space is there, right? And so from a spiritual perspective, what does that mean? It means oneness. So where does God start and you stop? A long time ago, when the earth was green and there was more kinds of animals than you've ever seen, there are cats and rats and elephants, and sure as you were born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. One of the things that became really, really clear was when I started getting questions asked of me that I couldn't answer. And one of the three trick questions that I got asked, that when I got asked them first, I don't like answering questions like that. And that is, first question is, they're all trick questions, by the way, just so that you know. Where's God? God's everywhere. Is God in the chair? Absolutely. God in this lectern? Absolutely. Is God in you? Absolutely. What does God do? There's only one thing that God can do, and that's create. Out of the sheer joy and love of creation. Third trick question is, where does God create? There's only one place that God can create. Within itself. Therefore, you are God. Now, there is an element of emotional reaction to that statement, because most people say, "Oh, it's not God. Oh, it's the guy in the sky, white robe, big gold G on his chest." But if I change the word, instead of the word God, I change the word to energy. Where is energy? Everywhere. What does energy do? It creates everything that we experience, including ourselves. And where does energy create? There's only one place that it can create, and that's within itself. Therefore, you are energy. Not quite as emotional, is it? And so I get a kick out of people that tell me that they're atheists. Because whenever somebody says, "Well, I don't believe in that crap. You know, once it's done, it's done." And Einstein's the one that sat there and said, "Matter can neither be created nor destroyed, only changed in form." Right? So how does that relate to our spirituality? How does that relate to our faith? If we understand that there are rules that govern the use of energy, and energy behaves in a certain way, then we can count on it, can't we? And if we can count on it, does that mean that we're one with that energy? Absolutely. So, on a subatomic level, you are inseparable from your chair. Absolutely. Because if we do it in that context, nobody argues. Because we all understand. So how do we take that and use it in our day-to-day life? This is a key question that I have for you today. If you understand that everything is energy and everything is energy and energy is you, can we impact on that with our desire? Absolutely. Ernest Holmes once said, "Change your thinking, change your life." How do you create? I create out of consciousness. And what does God or energy have to say to us? There's only one answer that God has for us. That answer is what? Yes. It's principle. And it will behave in a way that you choose to have that experience. It's oneness. How do you experience love with your partner? It's oneness. Unity does not mean uniformity. This is a tough concept. So, do we honor and celebrate our diversity? Not yet. Because if we didn't honor and celebrate our diversity, imagine how boring life would be if everybody was just like you. You know, like, what's the definition of insanity? You know, if we're all the same, you know, there'd be a real run on ice cream. There'd be a real run on pizza. And if you were all like me, there'd be a real run on beer. But it's the difference. It's the diversity within our soul as our soul and our spirit expressed. Like, can you imagine if you were, look at what happened in China with Mao. Everybody dressed the same. Exactly, yeah. Look around this room, everybody's dressed differently. And isn't this an absolutely fabulous opportunity to experience joy in the diversity of everyone that's here? Absolutely. And do we celebrate that diversity? When we think about it, yes, we do. When we're just doing our routine on the rail of our lives, chances are we don't, because we just move through the day. But when we take the opportunity to actually express our oneness each and every moment, then there is that opportunity to appreciate and to express our oneness. Last week, I used the example of the Bible. Like all of the upheaval in the world, there are folks all over the world that are experiencing because of their book being different than our book. This happens to be the Bible. Theirs happens to be the Quran. There's the Gita. There's the Tao. Why is a book reason for us not to get along? There is no reason for that. Because we are one. And we celebrate and honor our diversity. Is it easy? No. Do we wish people would conform to our way of being? Absolutely. But if everybody conformed, what kind of a life would that be? Mothers with small children would go, yes, it's a blessing. Individuals who want to have this really intimate, loving relationship, what if everybody was having this? And there was no difference. There was no diversity in who you were having this experience with. Would it be as special? Would it be as memorable? Would it be as potent? Probably not. But there is that oneness within us, isn't there? There's always that potential. Diversity and unity are not mutually exclusive. Would you agree with that? Can you think of some parts of your life where this is really accurate? Remember, I told you that this wasn't an easy topic to talk on. And as I'm speaking here this morning, I'm looking at your faces, and I can see that you're really, really thinking. My job's to get you to think, at least today. Because when we come to an understanding of our oneness, that basically takes down the barriers, doesn't it? And who wants a barrier to joy and love and happiness? None of us. That's what we want. That's what we yearn for. We yearn for connection. There's a unity at the center. We're all one. There's one power, one presence, one source. We are it. It is us. However, by design on the circumference of this itness, there's infinite variations. Infinite. How many people are on this planet? And how many people are the same? There isn't a single individual on this planet that's the same as anyone else. This is an absolute marvel of creation, isn't it? There isn't a dog, a cat, a bird, a mosquito that's the same as any other one. It is all we are all individualistic. All individualistic. And what's the commonality? We're one with Source, experiencing our diversity. But we're all one. We're all experiencing the same air. We're all experiencing the same water. We're all experiencing the same energy. We're all experiencing the same gravity. There's a oneness here. But the beauty is the diversity. Platinum rule. Anybody know what the platinum rule is? Come on, somebody's got to. What's the golden rule? Do unto others that you would do unto you, right? So, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The platinum rule says, treat others the way they want to be treated. Did I detect a slight... Think about that. How often are we willing to live the platinum rule? That was a dirty rule, wasn't it? How many of us actually think that we're right and the other person is wrong? How many of us leave the toilet seat up as opposed to down? Why can't you put the toilet seat down? Why can't you put it up? Why? Exactly. You know, having the toilet paper come over this way as opposed to under this way. Having a child in a bathroom, there's a really good reason why you have the toilet paper coming out of the back. Because if they're doing this, it's not all over the floor. Treat others the way they want to be treated. Can you imagine what your life would be like if that was the compass by which you lived your life? Can you imagine what that would be like? And would that equate to oneness? Absolutely. Really interesting concept, right? Personally, okay, so this is Dale Carnegie. Personally, I'm very fond of strawberries and cream. But I have found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms. So I went fishing. I didn't think about what I wanted. I thought about what they wanted. I didn't bait the hook with strawberries and cream. Rather, I dangled a worm or grasshopper in front of the fish and said, "Wouldn't you like to have that?" Isn't that's a really great example of the platinum rule, isn't it? So what are the implications within prayer of this whole idea of oneness? We talked about a lot of different aspects of this concept of oneness, and it's not an easy concept to grab hold of. But it is a fundamental part of who and why we are who we are and why we have this and us being part of this Unity family. So within prayer, and what is prayer? Prayer, in actual fact, is setting intention. It starts with the intention of aligning yourself with the one presence, one power, one source. It's aligning yourself with the concept and the understanding that source fills each and every part of you, and you have your being at the center of it. It is where you are loved beyond measure, where you are accepted and honored for who you are. And then we step into our true divine nature by creating whatever it is that we choose to create in our lives. That's the implication of prayer. Can each of you move into that in this moment? Absolutely. And how do you do that? It's just by making a commitment to it. And how source shows up in your life is going to be different for each and every one of you. Because you are so unique, source will show up in that very unique way with you. Which makes it one of the more difficult things to talk about, because I can talk about how oneness shows up in my life, but you may not be able to relate to it. And you may be sitting here talking to me about how oneness is showing up in your life, and I go, hey? I just don't relate to that. But we all have that oneness, and that's what brings us together. So there's only one power, one presence, one source. You. Do you agree? So, what did we talk about this morning? There's only one of us. Unity does not mean uniformity. And the platinum rule. I would invite you over the next week, as you step into your everyday world, to bring these thoughts, to bring these ideas into your life and into your experience. And see what happens. Because I can tell you right now, and without question, you bring these concepts into your life today and for the next 7 days, you will be astounded how your life changes. And if you have the concept that you want to make the world a better place, that's the way to start. So have fun playing this week.
Thank you, Reverend. I celebrate the divinity in me, led by spirit joyfully. Namaste and blessed be. I honor my divinity. I celebrate our divinity, led by spirit faithfully. More than flesh and body, I honor our divinity. One more. I celebrate the divinity in thee, led by spirit lovingly. Beauty fills everything I see. I honor your divinity. And if you would acknowledge everyone, namaste, namaste, namaste. I'm going ahead of myself. Here we go. Namaste, all over the world. Namaste, namaste, and right here for ourselves. Namaste.
Thank you, Dedri. We believe giving is a spiritual practice. If you are here for the first time, please know that your presence is a gift to us. Please take your conscious giving envelope in your hand and affirm the following with me if that's comfortable. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all I have, all I give, and all I receive.
I was just thinking that my daughter, when you said about God is everywhere, when Deja was only 4, I think, she said, "Mommy, where's God?" And I said, well, God is everywhere. God is in your heart. And she says, God is in my heart. Well, tell him to get out because I want to see him. When I look at you, I see God shining through in all you do. And when you look at me, do you see the best of you is the best of me? Everything I say, everything I do, deepens my connection with you. Oh yes, one heart, one mind, one voice shining as the light, one soul.
Now we'll bless our offering. Thank you, Jean. given in love, received in love. This offering goes forth to its perfect work. All my desires and needs are met by Spirit through me, and so it is. All right, are you here for the first time? I don't see any new faces. Because we always have a gift at the back, Welcome Center, for anybody who's new. And I have a couple of quick announcements. First of all, it's time to either be a new member and request being a new member, or renew your membership. So these forms are there to fill out, so I encourage you to do that. And the other thing is that because we
need muscle.
We need a little bit of muscle, not a great deal, but we're preparing for our holistic and artisan fair on Saturday, I guess. And so if you could help stack all these chairs at the back when we finish, that would be...
There's a change.
Oh, nobody told me.
We're leaving 26 of them in this room, and the rest are going to be stored at the back wall of the hospitality room and after service.
Okay, so what Joan just said was we're going to leave 26 chairs in this room, and the rest are going to be stacked at the back of the hospitality room.
Just in this corner, not the entire wall. We need it.
Just in this corner. Okay.
So all of these chairs here, and basically the 2 rows there, need to go over here. Okay?
We need to move the piano, we need to move the table. Everything at the front has to be compacted, put in Ann's office. Marisha and I have an idea as to where things
Okay, well, Joan will direct us. How's that?
Look for the white hard hat.
Okay. Okay, so now we have a final prayer by Joan. Okay. Oops.
everything Randy said. Join with me in consciousness as I say this closing prayer treatment. The theme of this month is cherish the human family, unity. God is all there is. Therefore, my being is divine. By law, we are all interconnected individuations of one spirit. What you do for another, you do for yourself. This family of unity community expresses divine love by serving others. I am in deep gratitude for the actions taken by this unity family to support members of our extended community. I feel such joy seeing the good manifested for the broader self. I release my word and let go and let God. Join me in saying, and so it is.
Are you ready to start your week? Are you ready to start your week?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Here I come. Here I come. I am spirit-filled, renewed and rebuilt. I've got a song in my heart, with joy I dance my part. I am on cloud 9, one with the divine. I've got a smile on my face, and I'm ready to face the world. Here we go. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Oh yes, here I come. I am harmonized, a good fresh to start. I am on cloud nine, one with the divine gratitude and grace, and I'm ready to face the world. Are you ready? Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Oh yes, here I come. Now are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. Oh yes, here I come. And all the people say, Amen. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I come. I'm ready. I'm ready. I love the dancing. I'm ready.